Hi viewers, welcome back to BRK-SOFT. I'm proud to say this because in my previous episode I was talking about consulting business. I think a lot of you have shown interest in this because many questions were directed towards the investment that we need to make for this consulting services. Students, please understand, you don't need to have a big office to do a financial consulting because after all, it's service industry. What you need to do is to have a system, a printer and a net connection. That's all. You need to have a knowledge of Excel, Word, PowerPoint for presentation if any, and few of the products that are available in the software. You don't need to have a software background, so simple Excel and Word is fine. So let's proceed to the next. The point here is how to assess the viability of a project. Now, you divide this project into two, the import and export. Now, import projects are where you buy your raw materials from abroad, process it in India and sell it either in domestic markets or you also export it. Typically repacking. Let's assume that you are going to have an assembly line where few of them are imported from abroad, assembled in India and exported, primarily cars. Now if you take car assembly, critical parts by particularly foreign cars, they import from abroad, assembled it here, few of the auto components are manufactured here to suit their specifications, assembled fully and either exported or sold in domestic markets also. Now what happens in this is, to assess the viability, you have to have two things. One, the cost of import, the cost of domestic manufacturing and the selling price. It doesn't stop with this. Because you are importing, there is a foreign exchange that will affect your costs. So what do you do to cover the risk in foreign exchange? There are a host of derivative products, hedge products that are available in the market which will help you in terms of both short term and long term hedging of the foreign exchange risks. It's like commodity, what you do. For example, you buy gold. All gold traders know what is the risk involved in importing or sourcing domestic gold. Gold has a direct impact in foreign exchange like import of coal. So derivative becomes a core activity for importers and exporters also. Now how will exporters get affected? Importers, yes. When the dollar is 85, you import and for your bad your bad timing, it may lead where when you pay the price for the imports, your forex or the US dollars reaches say 90. The 5 rupees extra is going to be added to your cost. Either you bear it or you make the customer bear it. But the problem will be you would have already contracted for the selling price. This is a big loss for you. Now imports is understandable. But what if I am an exporter? Why should I worry about the forex risks? But what if you have exported the product, the price at 85 per dollar, and when you realize this dollar comes down to say 83, that's again derivative because you have lost 2 rupees straight away. Now how do you hedge at these two situations? This is going to be very important for a forex player. As I told you, he can either be an importer or an exporter. Now in this situation, do you think collateral is mandatory? I would say it depends on the situation. Now, other than this, what you need to do for viability of a project is to do a sensitivity. While doing this project, which is involving foreign currency, I would take a stand, or BRK-SOFT will teach you on how to cover the risks in terms of foreign exchange. To make it very simple, let's assume that you are in corporate finance and you are assessing the viability of a new product or a new project your production team has come out with. In this situation, I would suggest you also draw the forex flows or the increase in dollars over a period of time. This may not be exact, but it could be scientific. For example, if you take a history of dollar, you would find the inflation is about say about 5.5 to 6% or 6.5%, say around about say 6%. Now you factor in the price of 6% up and down in terms of import or export when you fix the sensitivity. Again, sensitivity does not stop only with forex business. It also has an implication in domestic market too, because if you are in a perfect competition and you introduce a product again, it means that you are going to increase the supply and therefore that could result in a price war. In price war situation, how do you handle a particular sensitivity, or how do you handle a product, and how do you repay your loans when you are pressure on profits? That's very important. BRK-SOFT teaches you such situations. Incidentally, I forgot to mention in few of our previous episodes that when you learn these techniques from premier institutes, they will give you case studies for analysis. These case studies are done by somebody, sold it to some leading universities, and those leading universities would have shared with the domestic premier institutions. But here in our classes, I will be giving you examples of situations of 140 situations, for example, 140 to 150 situations in different methods of how we handled a particular industry or how we handled a challenge of a particular annual report of a company. Most of the cases, I have come out with a situation where the company will be doing fantastic, but their financial numbers will not say so. Maybe because of tax planning they have got, or maybe they have been advised by their auditors or consultants. There is a big challenge in raising funding for these companies. But how do I do, or what are the case studies we have got in terms of raising funds for these type of situations? So students, I think you will be able to understand the situation what I am talking about in terms of handling financial challenges with live case studies too.